Hey everybody, welcome to Leon's Chainsaw Parts Repair. Happy Sunday. Assuming I get this uploaded today. Today is October 6th, so it's officially fall. You wouldn't know it by this run of unseasonably warm weather we've had. Got a little sweat going from the obligatory yard work that I needed to get done. But yeah, we're here in front of the camera, so this will be a two-purpose video. I'm going to answer some common questions and concerns that I've been getting recently, or at least that I have noticed, and then we'll do a Saturday update on the second half, so that for those who are here just for the FYI, when that ends, you can log off. Okay, first things first, there are occasions where my brain and my hands, as I'm typing, somehow are disconnected. There's one gentleman I've been working with. He's got a 350, and if you read the IPLs closely and you look at the parts, or if you've torn one apart that's still original, the boots that were used on those are not exactly the same as the boots that were used on the later 360s. That's why they had that update kit. That included the new carburetor flange and introduced the bushing and gasket between the carburetor itself and the boot, and it's sandwiched onto that flange. Okay, the 350 just had the boot with some ears on it, and that was supposed to be what sealed it to the carb. Long story short, as the 360 evolved, Homesite realized, hey crap, we're getting air leaks and failures here, let's do this system. Anyway, I've been working with the guy on this. And there have been two different emails right now where in my head I clearly am verbalizing and thinking, okay, this part number, and I've written the wrong damn one to him twice now. And I'm like, okay. So I'm trying to slow down on emails as much as possible. It is busier than heck right now. Not necessarily with saws, but with everything else that I've got going on. So I'm trying to slow down and give you guys accurate information, but bear with me if I do make a mistake. I'm trying to reread everything, especially if I'm recommending that you buy a part that I don't have that's, somewhere else. So, but along those lines, for the last 4 or 5 months, I've had a good solid uptick in folks that aren't reading my response thoroughly, or in some cases, I'm not sure at all. Where I will say, this part number is what you need, and then I'll respond, okay, so I need blah blah blah, and it's something completely different, and I'm like, did you read what I wrote? Especially if I provide a damn URL to it. So please, help me out. If you've asked a question, slow down and read the response thoroughly. It'll help us all out. Fun little fact, anybody who's doing voice to text on their phone to create an email, I can always tell because Homelight is auto-corrected to Homesite. I tell you, if I see that one more time, I think I'm gonna scream. Nothing you can do about it, but I can always tell the voice to text ones. Use the IPLs okay. I'm going to make this up. Somebody emails me and says, hey, I got a Super 1050. I'm going to need a bunch of parts for it. What have you got? I need this, I need that. And then there might be this list of 20 parts. What I'm going to do in a case like that is I'm going to say, hey, here's an IPL that I think will work for your saw. And here's a link to the category for Super 1050. This is where you will find everything that I have in stock. Because I've had a good uptick of those as well, where, it's this laundry list of stuff, and I truthfully don't have time to go through and pick out every single hyperlink, drop that in an email. My website was built as a kind of a self-service thing. Yes, questions are a thing, and I totally get that. Hey, do you think this is right for mine? Okay. But, yeah. I've had even instances where I will send that response and then somebody comes back with, oh, cool, so do you have blah, blah, blah? See above. If I do, it's listed in these categories. Quick side note, I've also seen a slight uptick in new old stock parts available in lots that I deem to be a reasonable price. I just finished with one and another medium-sized one on the way. And by medium, I think it's 2 or 3 good-sized boxes. So more to come. I have no clue what's in it. No clue at all. I couldn't take a request if I wanted to for parts, specific parts. Keep an eye on the website. But there's more stuff coming. If you've emailed me and haven't gotten a response, I miss very few. There are those of you, on this channel, I'm sure, that you've gone, hey, I reached out to you. Yep, sorry about that, got distracted. It's usually do you want to buy a lot of saws or something like that, and I've got to give it some consideration and research. Sometimes I do fail to respond to those in a timely manner, but 95% of the time, if you don't get a response to me within, let's say, 48 hours, I actually have responded and your junk mail has caught it. These filters are getting tighter and tighter, and for good reason. I hate junk mail as much as anybody, but usually if you haven't heard from me, that's where the response is. If you've got a question about an individual item, send me the URL. Copy it from your browser, paste it down below. The part number, if it's a used part, that U number is really helpful because that's my internal inventory tracking for used parts. Folks don't realize, on some platforms, the owner-operator can actually see a shopping cart, all that stuff. With Square, I see none of that. I can't see your shopping cart. I can't see your account. I can't reset a password. I can't even see that stuff. That's all within Square. It's nothing that I can handle. So, hey, I got this, tank in my cart, blah, blah, blah. I don't have any idea what you're talking about. So give me an identifier, part number. The URL is far and away the best for the product. I cannot miss that. So, and once you've submitted an order, you realize, oh crap, I want to add that. I can't go into your order and add items. I can subtract one if it's, hey, I ordered 3, I only needed 2, or whoops, I didn't need that really. If it's before I've shipped it, I can subtract that, issue the refund, but I can't add 2. Most folks, what they do, even though it's a little more upfront, is they'll go ahead and place a whole new order and then send me an email, hey, I got these 2 orders, can you combine them? I almost always catch those emails in time, and when I'm printing out orders, I'm glancing through for duplicate names, because that's one of the first categories right there that I see is your name. And if I see that, then I'm going to look. If the shipping address is the same, I'm going to go ahead and combine those and then issue a refund of one of those shipping charges. But that's far and away the best and fastest way. So that stuff out of the way, the FYI's out of the way, we'll go to the Saturday update. The firewood pile is finally full. That's a good thing. That means when I go up the hill, I can focus on other stuff that I want to do. There hasn't been an update on the Farmall tractor for a while because there is no update. Guess what this is? It's back. So, the last video, there were a number of folks that agreed with me that it looked like that carb was flooding. So I put a kit in that carb, and realistically all you're doing is replacing wearable bushings, seals, and the main bowl gasket. And I think that was the problem, and I think the float was out of adjustment. How, I don't know. How it's good in 2020 and not good in 2024, I don't have an answer for that. But the long and the short of it is, I put it on, tried it Saturday, and it was the same horse crap that we were hearing before. It would try to start, but it would die out within a second, and it just, at that point it was not dripping gas. It wasn't flooding out, but it would not run. And I think I'm starting to believe there's something wrong in the impulse side of this. Even though it snaps good, it must be snapping out of time. That's the only thing that makes any sense to me. So I'm going to send the mag off to somebody who knows mags. And one of the one of those videos, a viewer had suggested a Lily get lost.
Peace out, Shaka.
Bye.
Yeah.
I think she took her brain out of her head and was juggling with it one day, and whoop. Kids these days, I don't know. So where was I at? One of the videos where we were doing some mag work, somebody suggested a website, and I've got that open in my browser. It's been open since then, and I've been stubborn because I hate admitting defeat on it, but I'm just going to send it to someone who can verify that it's working properly. And then I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I don't know where to go next. So stay tuned. When I get the mag back, and it either does or doesn't run, we'll do another one of those videos. It's been a very dry fall so far. We haven't had rain since early September, at least a month, probably 5 weeks. So fire season is still in high for the Rogue Siskiyou National Forest and Jackson County, where I reside. So I've been holding off trying to do any new to me chainsaw videos up on the hill, but I've got that ProMac. Is it a ProMac? I think it's a ProMac 1010 that I want to get up there for a little bit of cutting. I've got a 2100S that I don't think has made any appearances on this channel yet. If it did, it was just one time back in the spring. I want to get it up there. We've got some trees that are dying, 2 that are deader than a popcorn fart, a third that's dying. It's only got about 12 feet of the top left. The rest of it is just red rust brown all the way down. And that one, I'm going to take a wild guess that it's 28 inches on the stump. So, and I'm going to take another wild guess that it's somewhere around 80 feet tall. I'm not the best at estimating those heights, but with as big as this tree is, I really think that that's pretty accurate. So, you know, got these saws I want to try out up there. Other ones that I've added, the 655 boost port, the Poland Pro 455. Got the... What else do we have that's fairly new? I feel like there's something else that I'm forgetting. Oh, there is, but I'm going to do my next video on that if it works out. If it works out. I'm going to keep that one under wraps for a second. So anyway, that's kind of the plan for fall. I think we've done our last fall camping trip. We went over to the coast this past weekend. Excuse me. Over just outside of Yachats, visited some friends. That was a good visit. But yeah, I think we're about done with that for the year. So, the tractor, get some trees done, some firewood videos, some saws, vintage saw videos. I'm starting to get a real hankering on the old Chevy, the 65 Chevy. I need to get a set of rims. I had one actually rust through and not hold air a few years back. And I'm running the spare right now. The spare tire is 30 years old. No joke. It's an old Michelin that my dad bought in 1994, I think. Yes, 94. So 30 years on the button. The other tires, the other 3 are 20-some, and they don't look horrendous, but they do have fine checking around the rim, and I just don't trust any of those rims at this point, so I need to get a set of rims, have them powder coated, get a set of tires. And then I'm really jonesing to throw some paint on it. It looks like crap. So, yeah, I've got enough projects for 3 of me. So we'll see how this all goes. But I'm going to wrap this up. No more blathering. You guys don't need any more of that. I'm going to bring a saw in here for the next video. And, yeah, I'd like to say that we're going to wrap up what has been a problem child for me for about a year now. So, watch for that next video. And hey, we'll see you guys on the next one.